Oh, what's going on, YouTube? FG here. I got a bit of a different video for you, and to do this video, I brought in my good buddy Legion. What's up, bud?
Hey man, how's it going? I'm actually pretty ruptured by this. My content might be for kids.
I mean, all of our content might be for kids. We're here to talk about the new FTC COPA revision, which they have indeed revised 3 years early. Kill all content creators, so definitely pay attention if you are a content creator on YouTube, because we are under attack.
So in our community specifically, of course, we create sports gaming videos, and this is actually kind of problematic going forward if you look at the actual COPA law and what content can be considered for kids and what content can be considered safe, because 3 of the categories being gaming, well, that's us, sports, right again, also us, and animation can be considered, because technically NCAA and Madden are considered animated sports video games, so a little bit of 3-in-1 action there. It's not because our content's intended for kids primarily, it's because the COPA law is so vague, and they don't really know the state of the current YouTube pop culture.
A lot of what I'm going to be referencing, I watched a video this morning by the YouTuber Chadtronic. A link to the original video that I watched will also be in the description below if you guys want to check that out as well for more information on this topic as it relates to other things. But he has some videos on his channel that relate to Nickelodeon type stuff, and so of course he's going to definitely be under fire. And with a guy of 700,000 subscribers plus and counting, he is definitely going to see some revenue drops. As a matter of fact, he took a look at his YouTube catalog, and he's got just over 200 videos, and he marked 96 of them himself as things that could be considered targeting kids, even though he obviously has no intention of targeting kids. But, you know, the FTC is not going to care. They're going to go ahead and say, yep, this is for kids. And so he has 96 of his 200 videos. That's a lot. And if you mark your video for kids, this is what ends up happening. There's no notification sent out for that video, so no one's going to know you put it out. There are no comments allowed on that video. The video is not searchable in YouTube's SEO. You are also not going to get suggested or recommended on that video, so no incoming traffic is really going to happen for that video unless somebody's specifically seeking that out. And it's going to make about 90% less revenue of a normal video. So basically, there is zero incentive to make any of this kind of content because people aren't going to get to it. They're not going to be able to search it. It's not going to get recommended, and you're not going to make money off of it.
So objectively,
why do it?
Objectively making content that can be perceived for kids and having to market for kids objectively kills your channel, because you're losing the community-based aspect that we all love about YouTube. We love interacting with our subscribers, we love interacting with our audience, and we love building a new audience. But when that's taken away, then what's the point of making YouTube content anymore? So you may be thinking, this sounds like no man's land, end all be all of all YouTube gaming channels, but I'll tell you that there is hope, and there is something that we can do now before January 1st when this all takes effect and people start getting sued for up to $42,000.
Until December 9th to fight against this stuff, because up until December 9th, you can leave a public comment on this docket so that the FTC or the government itself or whoever the heck needs to see it can see it. So that link will be in the description box below, as well as if you watch Chadtronic's video, he also put a link to it, because we are trying to bring awareness to this thing. This is definitely something that isn't getting talked about in our community. Big YouTubers in our community like NT, RBT, guys have got to get, you know, into this and really start talking about it. GGB, all you guys, we all have to band together and start talking about this and try to fight against this before it is too late. We've got just under a month to go until you can no longer leave a public comment. There is also a petition to sign that has over 300,000 signatures. We need to get a lot more, obviously, to bring more awareness to it. So definitely sign that. That link's going to be in the description below as well. And we just got to bring more awareness to this. It's got to get talked about a little bit more. I haven't been taking it seriously enough myself, and I don't think either have you, Legion, have you?
I have not, actually, and here's the reason why. I believed that at first this was just to filter some of the content that goes into YouTube Kids, because obviously younger kids do watch content that is family friendly, and their parents want them to have YouTube Kids as opposed to the regular YouTube. But here's the danger of this new COPPA law for creators and for kids growing up is kids aren't going away from this platform. I was watching videos that were probably way too inappropriate for my time when I was a young kid. Obviously, I was born circa 2000, 2001, so I was around during a time when YouTube was first getting started, and I remember watching YouTube videos and hearing language that I shouldn't have been hearing. And what's going to happen is when you take away the option of family-friendly content because it's not ending up in the SEO search because it's meant for kids, then really what you're losing is you're losing that family-friendly clean content, and it's causing creators to counter that by creating more mature content. And that's what the kids are going to be seeing because that's what ends up in the search. And that's what people can make money off of.
Guys like you and I making little Madden videos and, you know, MLB content or NCAA football content or anything involving animated video games. Oh, God forbid. If you take that stuff away, what do we have left to fall back on? Well, we're going to start making content based on Call of Duty, based on, you know, Gears of War, based on, you know, shooters or any other kind of games that are going to be more hack and slash oriented, more mature content that can't be deemed kids. And then what's going to end up happening? You're going to have the only video game content you're going to see on YouTube is stuff with blood and guts. And do we really want our kids subject to that?
Absolutely. And what I will add to that as well is we thought that the solution to this could be just swearing a few times per video and putting in a disclaimer at the beginning. But here's the reality of this is that the government has so many videos to go through and flag that if they see a title and a thumbnail that could potentially be geared toward kids, because let's be honest, if you're making a typical Madden or NCAA thumbnail, you have an animated cartoon player in the thumbnail, and it's for a video game directly related for everybody.
Visuals appealing to children. And when you think of visuals that are appealing to children, what they put in their parentheses is animated characters, check for a Madden thumbnail, bold and fast graphics. You know, a lot of people put those, you know, 99 overall boxes or whatever. Those are bold graphics, and you get the bright and vibrant colors, which, of course, every NFL team has pretty much bright and vibrant colors because they want their jerseys to be nice and their uniforms to be nice. And, of course, why wouldn't you use bright and vibrant colors in a YouTube thumbnail? Because you just want it to be eye-catching. That's something every YouTuber is going to do. So every visual that we as a Madden community or sports gaming community put out is going to be apparently visually appealing to children, because it's not just visually appealing to children, it's visually appealing to everyone.
Exactly, and there's no escape from this. You can't just put a disclaimer, as I mentioned. You can't just swear in your video. It's more about the subject matter within your video. And do I think that sports gaming content is geared for kids? Absolutely not. In fact, I would be surprised looking at our demographic. The majority of the people that watch our content are proven to be adults. And most of the creators on this platform are proven to be adults. And when you look at it through that sense, it becomes clear that there is a massive flaw in the ruling for COPPA.
And honestly, I mean, if creators like us in the sports gaming community can get flagged for this, it's like almost who the hell can't get flagged? Because honestly, there's nobody that's safe then in that instance, because this is really not something that kids are going to understand if they're under 13 years of age, especially if they're under 10 years old. they're really not going to understand the fact that we're making videos with like realistic commentaries and, you know, trying to make it like a real football game. I mean, you can barely get kids to sit on the couch and just watch a whole football game. They'd rather go outside and play football or just play their little Madden on their computer. They're not going to actually sit there and pay attention to something like this. This is something that adults are really into, and creating this fake fantasy sports world. And for some reason, you know, I don't think the FTC really understands what adults are into anymore. A lot of them, you know, for speculation, are, you know, over 50 years old, and they just don't really understand this generation very well, in my opinion. And I think they're making a big mistake.
And while this is the FTC not knowing what adults want, it's also the FTC not being able to show, because you may be thinking, this would never happen to me, this would never happen to my content, but that's pretty much what everybody's going to say. And the big flaw in that logic is that the government has so many videos to review, and if you have bold graphics in your thumbnail, if you have topics appealing to kids, even they may not look at your video at all to decide if it's family friendly or not, or if it's for kids. So don't be the person that sits back on this and gets fined a bunch of money. It's not a good way to go, and we promise you that there is a way to fight this, and we encourage you to fight this so we can have what's right. I am more concerned at this point about more kids coming onto the platform and seeing content that is not intended for kids at all, and content that has been made more mature in an effort to make it not family friendly. And so you're exposing children under 13 to language they haven't heard yet, to subject matters that they haven't heard yet. And growing up, those are things that should be kept innocent from a child for quite some time, you know? Sure, creators can talk about loss of revenue for me, but I'm concerned about the youth of our future, you know? I would be concerned about them hearing and being exposed to this type of content. Obviously, they have already, but that's why that type of content that is now made for kids and not showing up in SEO score exists for that very purpose.
This COPA thing wouldn't be so bad if it was more specific and more, you know, you got an actual guideline of what you actually can or cannot put. It's kind of stupid that you really don't get that kind of true guidelines. So what's going to end up happening is pretty much everybody's going to be at risk. And if we're actually concerned about it as like a sports gaming community, then what's going to end up happening is forget about the Minecraft and Roblox guys. They should be super concerned.
Absolutely. And the last thing I'm going to say before we end this video personally is the biggest confusing point in this is the fogginess between the YouTube guidelines and the FTC guidelines, where the FTC is very specific about no video games, no animations, no this, that, and this, and that, and the other, and they can all be considered for kids, while YouTube says no child actors, no animations, no nursery rhymes. And we were just thinking, okay, well, that's easy. We don't have to be worried about that. But if you really look into the FTC law, which you might have to do some digging for because this is so new, then you will see that the FTC is much more serious about this than YouTube appears to be. And that fogginess could lead to some unsurety for content creators about how this is going to affect them moving forward.
Thank you for watching. Stay protected and read up on all this stuff, and definitely spread awareness in this community. I'll see you all next time.
See you next time. Just a quick video we threw together. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you are conscious and stay hydrated, my friends.